Good morning, everyone. I am Faith Suggs, Duke Women's basketball graduate and currently Director of Basketball Operations with Long Island University, as well as Social Media Manager. And this wonderful man to the left or right of me is Shafer Suggs, my wonderful father, former NFL player with the New York Jets and Cincinnati Bengals, as well as serves as the Executive Board and Vice President with NFL Former Players of Chicago. Shafer Suggs, good morning.
Good morning, Faith Suggs.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it's hump day, halfway through the week. How's the weather going on?
the weather's perfect. It's a little bit cooler than normal. Hopefully we can hang out by the pool, but the heat is crazy the last couple of days. But yesterday was pretty nice. Today should be better. So exciting morning. I'm excited about our next hour. I have one of the most. I have a wonderful friend. That I'm going to share with you in a second. But,
right. Well, we are really excited. We had a great rerun on Monday. I'm glad we had a lot of great positive feedback from a lot of our fans and followers. If you're joining us today and you're new, we just want to say we are F3. We are Faith Family Focused. Our goal is to use our stories and faith to strengthen the family core of our viewers and those around us. For those of you tuning in, we appreciate you. We have been sending out our Suggs mugs. They officially went out on Monday. So those of you who will be getting them, feel free to send us your pictures, your selfies, so we can put them up on the website. Also, if you are joining us, we have a website called www.faithfamilyfocus.net where you can get all the videos, blogs, bios, get to know who we are, and also check out some of that awesome mugs that we sell. So to Dad, we have a great show today. How about you give everyone a little bit of a rundown about who our special guest is this wonderful Wednesday?
Well, our special guest is Bruce Harper. We attached this show to our Making of a Champion series, which ties into a lot of our sports world, but also ties into a lot of the life lessons that we have learned from our sports world. So every guest that we bring on ties into our Making of a Champion. Bruce from Kutztown State. One of the most electrifying multi-backs that ever played professional football. And he has a phenomenal story. He has a wonderful wife, Nancy. He's been married 35 years. You saw a picture there. There's a picture of Devin. Get the chance to hang out with Wesley and Bruce. And I think that was probably, and then Bruce that same picture 5 years later. So I think Devin outgrew all of us. But I am so honored to bring on Bruce. Bruce has a powerful story. We've had a chance to talk the last couple of days and be able to share our lives. And one of the questions we'll talk about is what makes us stay so close, our fraternity as professional football players, former players. It's not necessarily what we did on the field, but what happens to our lives after football and how our journeys are very, very similar. And Bruce overcame a life-threatening heart attack and go on to continue being this wonderful dad, wonderful father, wonderful husband, and started a program called Heroes and Cool Kids that he'll be able to talk about, which is just it's an amazing journey, and I cannot wait to bring Bruce on. Before I do that, I just need our viewers to just kind of take a look at some of this. Some of what I experienced in practice. I didn't get a chance to play against him again because he's on my same team. But again, for you football followers, I want to watch how electrifying Bruce was on the football field.
Electrifying rookie. One man was in a class by himself. Last year, Clark Gaines was the free agent success story. This time, it was Bruce Harper, a tiny running back from Kutztown State. Few had ever heard of Harper before this season. In 1977, he changed all that. Harper ranked among the league leaders in punt and kickoff returns, but also finished third on the team in rushing and fourth in receiving. He led the AFC in combined offensive yardage and trailed only Walter Payton and Terry Metcalf for league honors. Whenever Bruce Harper touches the ball, a crowd's pulse quickens. For Bruce Harper means excitement.
And after this quick break, we'll dive right into it. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning. How are you?
Great. How are you? We're so happy that you're on the show. I wish I had that announcer who narrated your video narrate my life.
He makes a bad room sound good, you know.
Yeah, those old John Facenda videos. There hasn't been a voice like that, Bruce, ever.
No, right. A lot of imitators, but nobody can match that, man. He had a very unique voice, and he not only did football, he did other sports as well. So, he's great. He's great.
I'm so happy, and you and I have talked a couple of times, and now you, like I said, you got a chance to meet Devin, and now you got a chance to meet the boss of the family, who kind of runs everything. So, I'm just kind of sit back. We have a lot of things I want to talk to you about, but I watched that video, and I watched it over and over again because I knew how good you were when I first saw you. But just some of the moves that you made, where people talked about Barry Sanders, I was looking at those moves before Barry Sanders, and you were special, man. Very special.
Thank you very much. And the truth is, I'm a little guy, grew up in Englewood, New Jersey, went to Kutztown State College, little small school. I got my shot with the Jets, played 8 years, and I never realized what other people were seeing when I was playing. I was just playing like I did in Denning Park where I grew up in my backyard, and I was just playing, and everybody said, "Oh, you're good, you're really good." Yeah. Okay, well, I am. So okay, but watching that video, it reminds me that, and when I was watching it, every time I did a move, my body would move a little bit, like oh. So I was moving with it, and I love that video. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen it, since yesterday. And what happens, yesterday I played it over and over and over again. And that was supposed to be a joke, man. I was saying I hadn't seen it in a long time, and then I saw it yesterday. All right.
Bruce, you have not changed, man.
No. Well, neither have you. And it's a good thing.
Man, I can't believe how long it's been. So we got a chance to meet your lovely wife, Nancy, who we've been together for a long time. And Carly is actually one of my Facebook friends. So it is so nice to be able to reconnect with friends. And one of the things I share with Faith is, Bruce, what is it that makes our fraternity so special? Especially, those years, the Jets, 76 to 83, for those guys, we all played together for a long time. But what makes, Faith is kind of experiencing a little bit, but what makes that bond so special?
It is special. It really, really is special. It's unbelievable to me so many years later. Here we are. I still love you, Shay. There's so many other teammates. It's just unbelievable. You can't explain it, or you have to just live it, But I think that summer camp that played a big part in the whole thing. Summer camp, man. we're all out there sweating and doing the best we can and working out to exhaustion and I don't know. And we lived together. We literally lived together during summer camp and some during the rest of the season. And like I said, I played 8 seasons. Man, that's a long time for guys to be like so close, man. And on the field, you get mad at your teammates and you want to hit them and then you love them and you go through all the emotions. And one thing I say about when we are playing is one thing. You know how like after you have to play and you go up and you hit your teammate on the butt, yeah, you smack them on the butt and real personal, and then you might go over and see a guy with one finger on his nose blowing out his snot, you know, you know, and I don't know of any other job there is where you can be yourself, it's like, it's so wonderful, man. And again, to do it for so many years, I love my old teammates, and it will never go away. It will never go away.
Yeah.
What is your favorite memory during that time period, would you say?
Well, okay, so I know already my favorite football play,
Okay.
which, I guess we can talk about if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But I had never thought about my favorite moment, those moments, like I said, when you hit somebody on the butt and, and the nose and, all of those things together make up the wonderful thing. But I'm going to think about my favorite moment. So I don't want to just say anything. I want to give it some thought. So anyway.
Well, we'll bring that back towards the end of the show. But one of the main things we've been doing, because we're in the Making of a Champion series, is we're trying to use other people's stories and journeys to try to inspire and kind of help teach other people watching and younger kids and people like me, myself, my brother, other kids who are part of, younger athletes. And tell us this. You grew up in Inglewood, New Jersey, like you said. What was your biggest inspiration? Was it a person? Was it a moment? What was it in your life?
Well, first of all, I just love football. I remember watching as a kid. My brother played football at Inglewood, and I watched, and I was just fascinated by the whole thing. Then I had my older brother, like I said, watching him play, and then I had a coach, and Shafer, you know too, Faith, what a coach is to you. Your coach is like, man, that's your dad. That's your dad, and my coach, man, and my coach loved me, and that's why that position is like, that's sacred almost, my coach, and that's why that position is so very important with kids. Coach is more than just telling you what play to run. My coach was my life, man, And in fact, I was so fascinated by my coach, who was my brother's coach. He wasn't my coach, but I was so fascinated by him as a kid watching that when he left and went to Kutztown State College, I went to school where he was. Wow. Because he was there, and he was coach, man, Yeah, so I have a lot of love stories with my coach, and then I've had other coaches that I love, and then one particular coach, Ernie Forchetti. He, again, I was a little guy from Kutztown, and I really didn't lift weights, but he was a weightlifter kind of guy, and he took me after my senior year, and he made me start lifting weights, and he worked out. He was a quarterback. He used to throw me passes, and I love calling him coach, man. That's a sacred place for me, And so I forgot. I've been talking so much. I forgot what the question.
Well, I mean, I mean, it's funny because, Dad, you talk about your experiences with your own coach as well. And I know we all have that one coach who kind of impacts our lives in a positive way or even steers us in the right direction and forms that great bond for life. But let's talk a little bit about the odds in your life, right? Let's talk about your size, your experience. What was that like growing up? Or did you just not notice? You just love to play the game?
That's really, really it. I didn't know I was too small. And I always say to the kids now, I say, if you think you're too small, then you're too small.
I like
But
that.
I never thought I was too small. I'm hey, just like everybody else. I didn't know nothing about no size. I was quick. I was pretty fast, a little bit and quick. And, I just felt very confident, that I could do it. Give me the ball. I want the ball. That was my attitude.
Bruce, we were playing flag football. We couldn't touch you. That's how hard it was.
Yeah, but I told you, guys like you were the reason I ran the other way. You were my motivation, Shay. That's why I ran so fast, man. You were scary, boy. I tell you what, I seen you hit some people, man. It's like I felt sorry for them.
Well, I'm glad we are on the same team, man. And again, I can't reiterate how nice it is to kind of spend this time with you and kind of share, some of your experiences. But I want to kind of change gears a little bit. As we talked last couple of days, you experienced something that was near fatal. You had a heart attack, and people are not realizing that the impact that this sports had on our lives, concussion, CTE, this. You asked me, somebody asked me a question at the end of it all over again. The wear and tear, and all that stuff. You said yes, and I would agree with that. I would do it. Although we both are obviously pretty beat up. You experienced a heart attack. I wanted to share with the viewers, have you shared with the viewers how you were able to go through that, how you were able to overcome it, and I'm just so blessed that you're still here, my friend.
Yeah, you want me to talk about my heart attack? I hate really talking about it, especially on the air, because it's still, I think I have post-traumatic stress syndrome or something. I don't know, because I can't see it, but I got some tears in my eyes right now, man, And no, that was a traumatic thing. It wasn't literally a heart attack. I had cardiac arrest.
Okay.
And what had happened was the very first time I was playing ping pong, and then I passed out. And they called the ambulance, and I remember waking up, a day or so later, and they told me what happened, and I didn't know anything. So what happens is your heart stopped beating. It stopped beating. And for that time it took from the ambulance to get to the house, from when it happened to the ambulance. And so that was one time. But so I went to the hospital, they fixed me up or whatever. And then they put a device in my body called a defibrillator. A defibrillator is what happens is when your heart stops again, it's like those paddles they put on your chest, and it shocks your heart, to start beating again. And so when it happened originally, I didn't know. But then when it happened and I was awake after I've had the defibrillator, I knew what had happened. And, and it was like, man, oh man, that was something. Then it happened again. And it's like, wow, it's more understanding. I really got a bad heart. And so in total, it happened like 6 times. And that was horrible. That whole thing was horrible. So I thank God I'm still here, and I dare not take my health for granted. Daily prayers and appreciation. I mean it sincerely. Appreciation for this life, and I want to try to take advantage of every bit of it. except for now with this pandemic, I gotta just do nothing. I can't do anything, you know. So,
with
but
you,
yeah, right. It's hard. You guys are doing something very productive. You know, you got your show and everything. That's a good thing, man. So anyway, but yeah,
man.
that's. Hmm?
I appreciate you sharing. I know it's hard, but I think it's going to lead us into one of the reasons why we asked you, Faith. Why don't you go ahead?
Right, right. So our show, one of our main themes is let go, let God. Um, Obviously, it's very in line with our lives and our story. Um, how can you apply let go, let God during that time period of your life? How did you see it kind of play out?
Again, uh, you know, he was just watching over me. It had to be him.
Yeah,
It wasn't anybody. It wasn't me. You know, the doctors. You know, they played their role, but God was in control. Hey, how about that? It rhymes. They played their role, but God was in control.
love it.
And you know, so I know that was, and I was very fortunate because when I was playing, Shake, you may not know this guy, Kenny Lewis.
Yeah,
When I was playing, he was a real spiritual guy, and I got to know him and talk to him, and he was very encouraging. And and you know, he kind of really opened my eyes to this whole Christian thing. Like there were Christian ball players on the team, but he's the one that opened my eyes to this Christian thing. You talk about being in your wedding. Well, Kenny was in my wedding. I was in his wedding. You know, I'm his son's godfather. He's my daughter's godfather. You know, teammates. There ain't nothing like it, Shake, right? Ain't nothing like it. And so so you know, just after so many years, that was my first original heart issue happened when I was 35 years old, and I've had heart issues ever since. And you know, nowadays, you know, I sit around, you know, whatever I'm doing, I'm thinking, like even right now, is it going to happen? Because it comes from no place. So is it going to happen now? Is it? I mean, what do I feel? You know, and it's really like I said, I think it's trauma. It's a traumatic experience for me. So, but I know how valuable health is, and you know, I hope everybody appreciates their good health and takes care of themselves, and you know, stay away from the drugs and not too much alcohol, and I noticed, say, I see some weights in the background there, and I guess you work out, but you only got about 35 pounds on there.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
And guess what? Those are Devin's weights. So, so and he warms up with those weights. I don't even mess with them anymore. Okay, I had the band. I had the band to the dumbbell. Okay.
Oh man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pete.
No, that's you. I knew you were gonna point that out, but but I really appreciate you sharing that. I mean, uh, our slogan is let go, let God, let go, let faith, let go, let love. And we talked a little bit about our faith, and you obviously advancing your faith, your foundation. We should do that because when we lost Sue, faith was 14, Devin was 9, 10, and I didn't know how I was going to navigate life. And with the grace of God, I was able to get out of the front seat and let Him kind of drive and let go, let God. And every day, the journey gets better and better because my kids, both of them, and I know that your kids kind of help navigate through that. But your family support, the support you have, that foundation is a wonderful thing, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us because that's kind of what motivated our show, our journey,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
our journey, and how God was instrumental in helping us heal. And your story for our viewers is just another powerful example of how allowing God to be the most important thing in your life can get you through the most difficult times. And I appreciate you sharing that. Um, so thank you.
Well, well, I'll never forget, Shay, even you going through, all the things you went through. Of course, all the teammates hear about these things and uh, pray. A lot of guys prayed for you, and myself included. And man, when you were hurting, we were hurting. You know
Okay.
what I mean? And we love you, man. And that's that sincere love. Like I said, that comes from being teammates, man. Ain't nothing like it.
Nothing
So,
like
man, y'all gonna make me cry up in this.
it.
I
You know,
know, everybody.
hey man, on the field, we cried a lot on the field, man. Whether or not we get whooped.
Yeah, yeah, for different reasons. Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
the nice thing about it, and I know you're proud of it, that for your kids, our kids to witness this as they begin to navigate through their lives. I know Faith can kind of share. Faith was the captain of her team, and she's had teammates on our show, and she's been able to also share very similar stories of battle together, and just being able to continue to do that. But you are special, and you were able to move. One of the things that I've always learned is you don't keep it unless you give it away. Well, you right now are giving it away. You're giving your love, you're giving your experience, you're giving it away with your program called Heroes and Cool Kids. And when you first shared it with me, I just was blown away. And I just want you to kind of deep dive into what your thought process around why you started it, where it started, and where is it at now. But it's just, I'm really excited to hear about Heroes and Cool Kids that you started.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I don't do it by myself. There's a whole bunch of us, the crew, and we work together. It used to be former pro athletes. We did what we do, but now it's just any adult, professional person. They're the ones that get involved. We become the trainers. But like I said, we don't do it by ourselves, man. We do it together. So I can't take all the credit. I refuse. So, uh, but what the program is, it's called Heroes and Cool Kids. And the way it got started was I was in a program that was very much like it on Long Island. I used to make that trek from Jersey to Long Island. And it was similar to what we do with Heroes and Cool Kids. And so I asked the guy if he would bring the program to New Jersey. I'm biased. I wanted to be in my town, my own. And so he kept saying, nah, he wasn't interested. He didn't want to make that drive. And so I asked him if I could start it in my town, and he gave me his, well wishes and all that stuff. And yeah, man, and that was really the way it started. I brought it to New Jersey. I gave it my own name, Heroes and Cool Kids, and we've been doing it ever since. 21 years now.
Wow.
It's 21 years. It's unbelievable. We've seen kids grow up, go off to college, come back, they're adults. We've been in some of the classes where the teachers told us that they were in the program as fifth grade kids. Whoa, right? That's unbelievable, man. So I think the impact of this program is further, reaching out further than I even realized. It's just a wonderful thing, and I think it was a blessing, like you said, from God. I can't, I ain't gonna. How can I take credit for that? That is a blessing. So we have been doing some wonderful things. We've been named the Program of the Year a couple of times, and we received grants from the NFL. Uh, you know, even Roger Goodell, seeing the value of our program, he gave some of his own, personal. He made a donation himself, and I know we're doing the right thing, and I just want to keep it going. I feel privileged to have been used for this.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about why a program organization like this is important to a lot of the kids within this age level.
Okay, well, here's what it is. What happens is, like I said, we used to have former pro ball players, and what we would do was go to the high schools and ask them to select, like, just say 30 decent kids, good kids,
Right.
and what we do is we train them. We have a curriculum book, and we train them to be mentors to fifth grade kids in their
Oh,
town. you know. And so what they do, we have conferences where just say five different schools with 30 kids each, come to the conference, and we train them step by step of what the kids are going to do. So it's all done during school hours,
Right.
and so that the high school kids then become the teachers at the elementary school.
Okay.
They retrain them and we accompany them when they go to the elementary school, but they are the ones that do the teaching one class period, the things that we taught them. And so, as you can imagine, the little kids are going to listen to the high school kids more than they're going to listen to an old man like me. And, they are in awe of the high school kids. You know, and we just capitalize on that. We take advantage of that, and we just teach them to tell something good. And that's what it is. It's just paying it forward, like they say. And like I said, 21 years, we've seen so many kids grow up. We've had a couple of the kids that were in fifth grade uh, grow up, become high school heroes, and graduate and come back and help us with our program. So it's wonderful. I feel very privileged.
What's the demographic of the program, if I may ask?
We are it's mixed, like totally mixed. Everything is mixed. We're in inner city schools. We're in affluent areas.
nice.
You know, every nationality, and we try not to discriminate at all. Because these issues that we address are issues for everyone. Everyone needs to address these issues. So
Bruce, have your program extended out of New Jersey? Do you have throughout the country? I mean, this seems like it'd be a phenomenal blueprint to duplicate this program throughout the country, especially in today's climate, right?
yes, yeah, yeah. We are not in throughout the country. We are in, and I really want to be. We are in New York, Rockland County, Jersey, North Jersey, South Jersey. Right now, we're in 60 some schools, and I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. I think we should be in many more than that. And uh, how to do that is the issue, I guess. We got to figure out a way to spread it out. But,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Wonderful.
I like the concept a lot. I'm trying to think. I don't think we had things like this when I was in school for sure. A lot of our outreach programs um, were out of school in sports climates more like that. Do you guys bring sports into the program? How do you kind of relate because I know you said that you had professional athletes originally come in. How do you guys kind of provide that with the kids?
Okay, yeah, like I said, pro athletes. And then we asked for high school athletes
Okay.
to be the ones involved. Those are the heroes. Old people, we just the trainers. The high school kids are the heroes, and the elementary school kids are the cool kids. So
Gotcha.
the heroes, we asked for all of the heroes to be athletes
Right.
because they speak our language. There's a certain you know understanding we had, but that was initially, and then we saw the validity of it all, and we just opened it up to a bunch of people, just like we did with us. pro athletes, we opened it up because a lot of people have a lot of good things to say and teach. So, why miss out on that? So
Right.
it's just wide open right now. But we do have a lot of athletes, and one of the things we do is we ask every one of the high school kids to share a story, share an experience, maybe about bullying, maybe about substance abuse or youth, role model, whatever it might be. We ask them, all of them, to share stories, and uh, a lot of times, most times, they share stories from their sports experience.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
that's neat.
yeah,
Special. Special. Well,
it is.
let's transition a little bit to the fun stuff because we're coming up on towards the end, last like 15, 20 minutes. Let's go back to your prime time. Let's talk about Jets experience. Let's bring that question back. What is your favorite overall Jets moment in history?
Oh, well, now if you talk about the favorite, if you
Mm-hmm.
talk about my favorite play, I mean, I can tell you my favorite play.
Yeah.
All right. And okay, so what happened was we were playing the Houston Oilers, Earl Campbell, you remember, right? And all these guys, and they were expected to kick our butts, man. And Earl, they thought he was going to run 500 yards and this and that. And so you guys on defense, you guys were nasty, man. You held Earl down to like minimal yards, and but we were still at the end of the game. As the game was ending, we were tied 21-21. I still remember that, and so they called a screen play. They said I forget the name of the play, but it was a screen pass to me, a little dump off pass on the side, and I caught the ball and ran for a 45-yard touchdown. I mean, I was weaving and dodging, and it was something, man, right? And so I made it into the end zone, and the teammates, my guys, man, they came and attacked me. They picked me up, like, anybody would think we won the Super Bowl. See,
Uh-huh.
and I can still hear the guys, Jerome Barkham and Wesley. Wesley would say, "Oh man, you the coldest, man. You the coldest." So it's those kind of moments are unforgettable. But I loved that moment. It was just something special. As a lot of moments I had, but that was the one that I think of when you ask me what was my favorite
Right.
play in football. But
I
I'm
remember
sure
it.
that moments. I'm
I
sorry.
remember it like it was yesterday. That was your breakout moment right there, because that was your rookie year, 1977.
Something I think so. Yeah, it was close. Yeah,
It was
yeah,
your breakout, man. It was all uphill after that, man.
yeah,
All
yeah.
downhill.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Hey,
Mhm.
I wanted to ask Bruce, the fireman, 42. You have that picture? What
Yep.
Bruce is about you. This is something. I want you to talk a little bit about your relationship with what could be explained.
His name is, yeah, Fireman Ed. You see, he has a fireman's hat on because he was a real fireman in New York City, and for some reason he liked me. I guess I was his favorite player, and so that was the jersey. He's a real avid Jet fan,
Yeah.
and that was his favorite team, and I guess I was his favorite player, and so he wore my jersey, and he's the one that leads the chant, J-E-T-S, Jet, Jet,
Yeah.
Jet. So he would get up on his brother's shoulders. His brother was wearing Klecko's jersey, and he got on his brother's shoulders and got the whole stadium. Quiet down, right? And then he go, J-E-T-S. And it was like, oh man. And I didn't even know that he was doing that when I was playing. But after my career, I found out that he was doing it, and so we, of course, got to know each other a little bit, and I can't say we're such friends, but he was, we got to know each other. We had done a couple of different things together, appearances together, and We've been to golf courses, tournaments, and so yeah, that's a special feeling, man. When you see that, it does make me feel good. So
That's awesome. I mean, that's so. I just so you know, I coach my kids in all the sports: football, basketball, and the name of our team was the Jets, right? So all of my chants was Jets.
yeah,
Faith has basketball uniforms, the Lady Jets they were called, and then
yeah,
that was the SHS Jets. So it was just a special, special, special time. I mean, it was so different. We had Connie on Friday.
oh
Connie, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person.
yes,
And she shared some stories. I don't know if you get a chance to see it, but she shared a picture of her and Joe Namath when she was 14 years old. Now, Joe was gone. Your second year, he had been gone, so you didn't get a chance to play with Joe, right?
my first year was the first year he was not there.
Right.
He left the year before.
Right. So, but it's just such a great fraternity, and I just love the fact that we're going to miss and you and I reconnected because of the Legends weekends. Every year, the Jets bring back the former players, and what I like about it, it allows the former players, the active players, to kind of connect. And I'm actively involved in the NFLPA, and one of the biggest challenges was there was such a big disconnect between the active players and the former players, and this Legends community has done a phenomenal job, especially the Jets, of bringing us back together. I think you have a picture of about 5 or 6 of us that were at that. Yeah, look at that. So you got Greg Buttle from the left to right. There's you, Bobby Jackson, Clark Gaines, myself, and Wesley. I mean, you really think that's 2 years of draft picks right there, 3 years of draft picks, right?
Yeah.
But just I'm going to miss that this year. Yeah, there's somebody.
There we go.
There I go.
Yeah. So again, though, you saw those pictures of the old guys, man, and it's just nothing like it. I mean, you can tell by the genuine smiles and man, my guys, and it's a wonderful thing. I feel privileged to have been a part of the whole thing, with you, Shafe, and all the other guys, man. It's been great.
We still are, man. This is only halftime, man. We still got a whole other half, man.
I don't know. I know how old I am. I can't imagine it being another half.
It's halftime, Bruce. The glass is half empty. No, half full.
Right on. All right.
Bruce, he don't live to 101. He says it every day, so you can't tell him. He knocks off 10 years every birthday.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like Shave. He's young at heart, though. That's all that matters, right, Shave?
Right. Well, I guess, Bruce, while we come to the end of this, let's dive into one little itty bitty thing. We're looking at maybe an NFL season, maybe this year. Talk to us a little about, with all the social justice that's going on around in the world, talk to us a little bit about how it's kind of more inspiring and different from when you guys were playing to now.
I'll tell you what, the first thing I think of is just the fact that, with this whole Floyd situation, just the fact that there's so much attention being made, on this whole thing, There was a time, people would complain and whatever. I remember the Olympics, the brothers held their hands up, and what came of that? Well, nothing much, and other things that went on. But now you got the world's attention, and you see Black people, you see white people, you see everybody, all nationalities out there in protest. I mean, we are making a real statement. And I think it's inevitable that there be change, So I'm really looking forward to seeing that change.
Right.
I'll never forget, people ask me, well, you've never been through racism. You never had any of that. not at your age, that's over with now. It's like, well, I have a golf tournament every year, not this year, and we went different places. This is our first year trying to find a golf country club where we could have our golf tournament. So I pull into this driveway, get out of my Mercedes at the time. I ain't got no more Mercedes. But I get out of my car, and the guy, I went up to the door. He didn't see what car I was in or anything. But I'm walking up the stairs, and a guy, a member, I guess, was coming out. And he said, "Oh, the deliveries are around the back. You got to go in the back way." And so I said, and I was so dumbfounded. I said, man, what? I was stuck, man. I was done. I could not believe it. And we're not talking about back in the '60s. I'm talking about, a couple of years ago, 15, 20 years ago. Man, so it's still going on. It's still going on. And I think a true statement is being made now. Talk about Kaepernick. Well, Kaepernick, when he knelt, and people were mad at him and saying he's dissing the American flag. He's not dissing the American flag. Y'all made it that he was dissing American flag. That's not what his kneeling was all about. His kneeling was to make a statement, say, "Yo, listen, people, hey, black people, Black Lives Matter." And people twisted it around and they forgot about the whole reason he was doing it.
Right.
And fortunately now I think we have the world's attention, and I am happy that in my lifetime I saw this thing happen, because it's going down in history, and I'm looking forward to seeing the change. Hopefully in my lifetime, a significant change. So, but Black Lives Matter, just like everybody's life matters, but we don't have to, you don't even have to say white lives matter, because we already know that. They the ones, in control, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, we don't have to say that because we already know that. But we do have to say that, hey, whoa, wait a minute, Black Lives Matter too. So people say, what do you mean black? I got an old friend of mine. He said he has a bumper sticker on his car. It says, "Police lives matter. Police lives matter." And yes, they do, But also, Black lives matter. You don't have to say police lives matter. It's already known. It's. Don't get me started, man. I'm gonna get mad at you in a minute.
Yep. And that's why it's so important that you have your programs, Heroes and Cool Kids, because the youth is seeing all of this change happen. The youth it's visible for them daily through social media, through the news. It's a positive narrative. There's more positive than there is negative. So the fact that foundations and organizations like yourself and others have seen this, and you have the youth in the kind of the palms of your hands to kind of help them see their power, and the power of the platform is special.
Yeah, man, this is wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing real change and what happens. And one more thing I would like to point out about this whole thing, there are so many rioters, people rioting, and breaking glasses and police cars, and turning them over and all that stuff, man. That is not us.
Right.
That is not us. That's a bunch of knucklehead. Okay, people. That's a bunch of knuckleheads. It's an opportunity for them to have some fun flipping the car.
Right.
That's not what it's about. It's not about that, as everyone should know that. So there's always a few bad people and not such a, that come in on good causes, So I'm happy.
Well, yeah. Bruce, we're really thankful for you joining us today, sharing your story, sharing your experiences, sharing your wisdom. It was an awesome episode, and we really appreciate you joining us.
You're gorgeous. I'm telling you. Thank you. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Hey, Hey, hang on there, Bruce. Hang on.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining us this wonderful Wednesday morning, Dad. I think it was a great one, don't you?
Phenomenal show. Phenomenal show. I mean, we got a chance to see clearly why Bruce Harper is such a special person in my life, and then to be able to share his story, not just his outstanding football career, but just be able to share his story and then offer his perspective on things. That's what this show was all about, and I really appreciate me and my co-host.
Right. Well, we will be back on Friday. I will be back on Friday. We're bringing on professional tennis player Christopher Eubanks. So it's exciting. We want to thank everyone. We want to thank especially Amazon Fire, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Apple TV, and most importantly, our key platform, E360 TV out of Phoenix, Arizona. And again, this is Faith Family Focus, where we want to use our faith as a vehicle to help heal and sustain others on their own path to strengthening the family core. And once again, like always, let go, let God, let go, let faith, let go, let love. Everyone have a safe and wonderful Wednesday, and to wear your masks, please.